It is Friday. So how are you? Good to see you. Well, made it through another week. I think we've only got seven left, I think. And this one will be in the books. So welcome everyone. Mad Hatter, so good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Joshua, welcome. Good to see you. Franny, how you doing? Joe, good to see you, my friend. Sun Rabbit, Dina Bop, I like that. Sarah K, hello. Welcome everybody. Lots of free thinkers in here, and people are, wow, lots going on. People are really getting it. I just read a great email, and it was delightful. The young lady was writing that, she's using her name now and happy about it, proud about it. But she said the thought hit her at 6 a.m., and I think I'm recounting this correctly, that she remembered reading. She came out of Christianity like many of us do. Hello, Brian. How you doing? Peter Quinn, good to see you. Warrior Princess, how you doing? Nice to see. Charles, Melanie, good to see you as well. So anyway, David is, she said, a verse came to her. Thou shalt not have any gods before me, any other gods before me. And it hit her. She says, whoa, wait a minute. This deity is trying to take my being, self-God, God-self, however you want to define it, and put me in subjection to it. Relinquishing, think about this, relinquishing your kingship. Things are happening, folks, and y'all are just evidence of that. Downloads are happening. People are beginning to see things through different eyes. And once those eyes are open, and once you begin to question, you begin to find how lack the answer is of that which we came out of. So I had a couple of thoughts as I was making my tea, of course. Here's something for everyone to think about. And we've got a vastly growing group here. Man, I can't run around and give enough coffee or tea to everyone. It's growing so quick. But anyway, how about this? Empaths, enlightened thinkers, gods. Honored to address you, by the way, because all of you are gods. All right, you ready for this? Can someone give me a drum roll? All right, I'll do it myself. If the perfect existed, we wouldn't be here. It would be impossible to have anything but the perfect to exist. Now, if we take the fourth principle, the principle of polarity, and apply it to that statement, it could also be very well phrased, just a matter of degrees, that the perfect is already here. You and I. I've been thinking about this. Our title today of our subject is one that I'm having information sent to me that is telling me that this needs to be discussed, and we're going to discuss it much, much more in depth, because we're all going to face that moment, and we have to begin to grow up. We have to stop being children. We must begin to mature in the calling that has been placed upon us. So ponder this. How could any spirit being who's never gone through the rite of birth passage in a physical body ever be qualified to judge you? How could any spirit judge you? On what foundation and what legal premise could a spirit who's never been in the physical flesh judge you? It's impossible. By what law? But what deed? By what creed? You know, that's why I walked away from Christianity. That's why I renounced all world gods. You need to be doing it as well. If you haven't made that public declaration that you no longer worship, acknowledge, honor in any way the world gods, then you may have an issue. You've got to declare your sovereignty at some point in time. Now, let's take this to the ultimate finality. If, and this is the problem I had with the Judeo God, that's a problem I had with all of these gods. None of them were born. None of them have been in the flesh. And how can you condemn that which is in the flesh to a standard of that which is in the spirit? Two different standards. It'd be like you trying to make a recipe of, I don't know, let's go something with the season, pumpkin bread. But you're going to use apples. It's not going to turn out. It could even get worse. I could even get deeper on that. So, how does this work then? I mean, if you've not been in the same situation, if you have not endured the rite of initiation, you don't have a right to say anything to me, God or no God. And how dare you judge me on the flesh? The flesh has its own laws, its own principles, just as the spirit does. And to say that the spirit is higher in ascendancy while you're in the flesh is a mockery of the physical form. Because as it's written in many religious texts, even the angels look with envy upon us. That means the physical has a hierarchy in the total structure of this plane of existence. We've been told, well, you have to dominate the spirit. Well, no, I don't know about that. I think we just have been taught wrong. And here's a thought on reincarnation. I've been writing a lot of people on this. They've been writing me. Apparently, a lot of people are questioning it. And good, you should. So let's just take the foundation that it's somehow a premise of existence. All right? So what the hell happened to the Neanderthals? The Cro-Magnus, the denizens, Homo denison, Homo neanderthal, Homo erectus. All right, reincarnation people, what happened here? What? Neanderthal as a species got an upgrade? Because they ain't here anymore. And does reincarnation only mean sapiens? Because technically, you and I are Homo sapiens sapiens. So does reincarnation only mean sapiens sapiens? Where's Cro-Magnon man? Where's Homo hobbidus, the hobbits? Where are the other species? What? You don't have an answer for that? Hmm. Do you see the insanity of this, folks? Of any religion that's out there? Because I want someone to explain this to me. Where is Cro-Magnon Man? We know that they were here, got their drawings. We've got their skeletons. We got their families. I'm just looking over some of the comments. I don't think you guys have an answer either. Some are trying to be cute, but, you know, because a lot of people adhere to this thought of reincarnation. And I only got one question. Where are the other species? Homo, australiensis, Homo erectus. I can just go right on down. They all existed. When Homo sapien appeared on the scene some 70,000 years ago, there were 5 other Homo species on this planet. We know this. Anthropologists have shown that. Paleontologists have shown it and concurred. Where are they? By the creed, they should be walking around. I don't know. You see, we just don't, we get so ingrained, so staunch, so unrelenting, frigid in some of these things. And folks, you got to break it. This subject is one, religions, they talk a lot about it, but they do very little. You know, it's like, well, you just got to wait over there. And no matter what you read about the afterlife, it's all been subjected to the mind of man. Because no God has ever manifested itself to humanity. And quite frankly, I haven't seen anyone do the U-turn and tell me or anyone else what's it like once you go past that singularity. So I want to save some time for the end of the show because we got a great show tonight, folks. I mean, it's going to be fantastic. And yes, got the hot tea. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, by the way, hey, Steve, how you doing? Good to see you. So here's the thing. Got my blood work back. My wife says, she just told me, and, you know, she's been a nurse for nearly 37 years. And it's funny because she said, as the blood results showed, you know, I've got the blood of about a 42-year-old male. Woohoo! So there you go. So anyway, so let's talk about something here real quick. Let's get into the subject matter so we can really delve into this, because I got some thoughts I want to share with y'all, and I want to see your thoughts on this as well. So let's got my notes here, by the way. Going to be a great show. So let's check this out. So before you enter, you must agree freely. Many people, you know, as I heard, now listen, all of this is speculation. It's told by people who have supposedly been to this point. I mean, you know, I've heard people who've had near-death experiences said they went to hell. I thought to myself, what the hell? I mean, if you take the concept again that God created everything then he can't separate himself from hell. Impossible. If he could separate himself from that, then he doesn't exist. He self-annihilates. Whoop. Think about that, boys and girls. Cheers. So you must give your free will before you can enter. Now, my sign says, go to the light, yes or no. Well, let's just see. This is my hypothesis. You know, I love putting these things together. All right. Here's the hardcore reality, dear friends. Now is the time to begin to get this figured out. Now, the mass majority of people rely on their religions, as I did, as many of you did. Because, you know, we don't want to contemplate this too much because, why, it's scary. The thought that you don't have consciousness freaks all people out about death. They think it's going to hurt. They think it's just a traumatic experience. Oh my God, you got dogs and cats living together. You got the whole fish coming out of this. You see what happens? When we should be able to look at this in a very sound, practical, matter-of-fact manner. The ambiguity is what drives people insane. It's the ambiguity of not having those answers that let most live in a life of fear, dread. Many stars have committed suicide because they realize that this day is inevitable. You have politicians who sell their souls for acts of betrayal, and they choose just to ignore. Or maybe they might know a little something the masses don't, because they're obviously in a very rarefied position. Think about it. And so before they put you in the box and haul your sweet ass out the door, and people are going to spend all the more of your money because you ain't taking any of it with you, you got to begin to figure out, well, okay, what happens? Now, if you study religion, philosophy, a lot of different takes on this. I was looking at, as they go, more books. So the ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead. I have the Tibetan Book of the Dead over there as well. That's what fell. Very interesting take. I mean, the Egyptians, they were they knew the inevitability. Now, their matrix, it's bizarre. I mean, you know, the way that you have to prepare, you know, stand in judgment. Is your heart as light of a feather? How do the scales, do they bend in your favor? You know, and then you've got two destinies. You got one that's going to be supposedly this eternal bliss. And I still don't know what that means. What does eternal bliss mean? I mean, how many of us honestly have really experienced true bliss? Maybe that's what life is. Maybe that's what bliss truly is. Or you go to this other place and I'm going, well, let's say they send you to this dark place. Well, obviously, things are living there. It appears that you'll be there too. So adaptability? I don't know. What we don't want happening is ignorance. To be fearful. I was listening to an interview with a guy that I'm actually reached out and going to get him on the show. And, you know, we know certain things. We know, for instance, that the soul, the spirit. I think it's the spirit. I don't know so much about the soul. As you do study on it, the soul is a recent concept. It's been one that's come in and out. So let's just all agree that it's spirit. We know that through the experiments dating back to 1908, 1904, thereabouts, there apparently is 27, 29 grams of unified weight loss in all cadavers, corpse, dead people. So that we can establish. I wrote to myself a note here and I said, I wonder, and then no sooner has I started writing it and I started looking into it. Do you know, ladies and gentlemen, that there are universities, private funded corporations that are looking to capture the energy that appears at the moment of death? Wow. I wonder if the gods anticipated man ever doing that. What if we get to that point with AI? As I said on my radio show last night, I don't see any prophecies prophesying AI. Could it be that that was truly man's creation that no God could foresee? And now here comes man, ready to capture that portal, that vortice, that energy. Once we identify it, once we get a handle on its molecule structure, yeah. Someone sent me a link, thank you, by the way, on this subject. And Star Trek Voyager fans, the episode with Janeway when she was possessed by an alien entity that was killing her. She was actually at that moment of death. And it's probably the most riveting 4 minutes in dialogue that will give you such great insight into the light. Because the essence is this: we do exist beyond the physical form. Now, if anyone can answer me the question, what happened to the Neanderthals and the Cro-Magnons and all the rest of the other species of homos, I'd like to, begin to think about reincarnation, but it don't make sense to me. And it's got too many ambiguities to make it seamless. But then again, you always have to have the 1%. Could be. And if you do that, you're going to be like the cattail swaying on that pond. Nothing going to break you. You're just going to sway back and forth, growing stronger. Oh, yeah, I wax poetically, I know. So here's the deal. I contend that this is not the only choice. This tunnel of light. Now, it appears, I don't know if the ones that went to hell, if they saw the tunnel of light. Isn't that odd? I wonder how that matrix works. But we'll establish this as what seems to be the SOP. SOP standing for Standard Operating Procedure. All right. So you've bit the big one. You're now out of your body. You're realizing, okay, I'm on my way. You may look back. I don't know. I was trying to remember on the 5 near-death experiences that I've experienced. I don't remember anything. I don't. I don't know. Maybe there's some of us that are travelers. I'm a traveler of both time and space. Anyway, hello, Kashmir. What if this is not the only choice? What if it's there because it's been implanted into us? Implanted us. There you go. Implanted in us to think that this is the only choice. Now, I've heard a lot of stories of people who have met deities. At this point, there's the one story of, I forget the gentleman's name, but Morgan, I think. I have to remember his first name. But anyway, the Virgin Mary appeared to him. And she said, I'm here to guide you into the light. And he said there was an overwhelming sense of love. One, he said that was almost seductive, almost overpowering. But he stopped and he said, it's impossible for you to be the Virgin Mary. I don't believe in that. And you cannot be. He says, who are you? I demand you show yourself. Well, this deity did. And he asked, what is your purpose? And it's a feminine deity. And she said, I am here to usher you in. There is apparently, you can't look at this thing. Apparently the frequency and the vibration is too high. We all vibrate. And when you pass on, your spirit will have a certain vibration to it. And apparently there's our rules that apply in this physical plane that apparently apply in the spiritual plane. You can't put unmatched energy frequencies that are opposed to each other, one greater than the other, you obliterate them. Maybe that's the supposed second death. I don't know. So apparently there is this God thing right on the other side there that apparently has the face of a lion. Apparently it's one that you can't look at. So I don't know how everyone's found out that there was the face of a lion, but the point is, this is, I contend, and someone wrote earlier in the chat room, and oddly enough, it was in an email as well, is that I think this is a singularity. Now, is this the only choice? Is this the only portal of light? You see, what if? What if there are different portals? Don't take the first one. Question, challenge. Don't know. But by all implications, it is implying that this is the dark plane. It would imply that this is the plane that has no light. Now, my question is particularly, what are these so-called angels, demons, doing at this portal? What, is their existence dependent upon the fresh meat coming through? Are they benevolent? Or is their benevolency masked by the malevolency that awaits? I mean, here's what my problem, and I'll challenge these creatures. Who are they? Who do they serve? Don't touch me. You don't have the authority, nor the legal right, nor the royalty to touch me. If these creatures have never been in the flesh, then they're beneath me. Granted, they may be in the spirit form. Apparently they are. But that doesn't make them superior to me. How do you judge me on something you've never experienced? By what law, statute do you judge upon? And so it's implying that this is the dark realm. Well, I have to admit, it's pretty screwed up. I mean, to think that you have to eat live things and dead things to exist here. It's disgusting. When the body, these bodies right here, could have easily have been modified to absorb all nutrients and expel waste through the skin alone. It does it to a certain degree now. So is this truly the dark realm now? Here's my question. How many times have we said it? You've said it, I've said it, others have said it. You create your own reality while you're here. How many times have you heard that? How many times you've said it? So what? This stops when you lay down this physical form? What? I could create here in the physical form, but I can't create in the spiritual form? What? I don't have the choice, the sovereign right to create? You have a double standard here, my friend. You can't say one and deny the other. You see, I believe, because every agenda, let me digress, every agenda I've seen in every religion has its own agenda. The assimilation of spirits to capture you into a mindset that can neither be proven as actually existing, other than in the mind trap that they set inside you. Every religion. Now, there's a lot more of us awakening. You are the biggest threat to this whole structure, this whole matrix. Now, I'm included in that. Because if we are truly gods, how can another God judge us? They don't even judge themselves. We make double standards in everything we think and do. It's partly why I don't like even the New Agers, the metaphysicists. They got it so wrapped up it's a religion. No. You see, we only see one spectrum of light. The ignorance of our stupidity is what's held us back. They say light. I say, what kind of light? Well, they say the true light. What do you mean true light? What is true light? Define that for me. I'd like to know specifically what is true light. Can't. And if I'm a creative God in this reality, in this realm, I'm certainly going to be one in that realm. And I reject these world gods. I reject the world religions. They have no legal right on me. There's no covenant between me and them and I. This will be my path, where infinity of light is my journey. This is just one stop along the way. They say that those who, and apparently there's one story of an individual who was guided right up to that point, that there is the deity in there. It's called I there. The it. The IT. and it feeds upon you. It feeds upon your experiences, your pain, your joys. And apparently it's going to put you through another cycle. You see, here's the thing about reincarnation, folks. We are so one-dimensional in our thinking. You see, I see the plane, the astral plane. I've been there. I've met beings. There was no light portal. There was an expanse of beings that, well, and so think about this. We look at Earth on this temporal physical plane as the only physical plane. If we are fed upon, recycled, why wouldn't it be in a totally different plane reality of physical form? Why just this one? I can't find any yogi, no Buddha, no rabbi, no preacher that can answer that. There's this finality. I contend there could be an infinite amount of physical planes similar to this one that we have no idea about. Maybe one of those collapsed, and this is what's happening with the sudden influx of spirits into this temporal reality. Something's going on there. But apparently, I there will feed upon you. Now start studying that one, folks. The I there, not the I am, the I there. And I don't like the idea of anything feeding off of me. Quite frankly, that disgusts me. That's loathsome. I'll just put it out here. You must resist. You must be you. If you go and cross that plane feeling like you're unworthy, you're sinful, you somehow are below, and you have to grovel, and you have to be some sort of indentured servant, and the whole concept they get you into, the guilt matrix. You're going to get shredded, baby. You're going to be in fear. And man, animals can sense human fear. So can spirits. And if you don't figure out that who you are, well, you see, they're saying that this God is all seeing, covered with eyes. And I'm telling you, you best be able to challenge the all-seeing one. Because you see, let me just tell you how I view it. I look at this creature they call God. They actually take it from the Hebraic God, you Judeo-Christian God. And I think to myself, this is your existence. You only watch. Well, where I come from, that's called being a voyeur. And all you're going to do is be a voyeur. Why are you existing? What? Because it wants your energy? Listen, when I got my back broken by my father beating me, I didn't see God intervening. I didn't see any angel intervening. I didn't see any demon intervening. The times when it was just me, I didn't see any God intervening. I had to use my mind. I had to think. And being on my knees never accomplished anything. So what happens if you don't go to the light? Is it that? You see, even this is light. It's a saturation of all the electromagnetic spectrum of radio frequencies we call light. This is the ultimate light. But many would argue with me on that. Yeah. I mean, I'm just putting it out there for discussion. I'm not saying it is or isn't, but I'm certainly saying it has to be an option. I don't think any of us want to have to face that there's just one option. If you're not akin to a religion, then why keep to their belief systems? You've got to explore these things. Now, I had a discussion last night before I went on the radio show. These gods exist. Do I believe that there's a Hebraic God? Absolutely, I do. Do I believe that its name is Yahweh? Oh, yeah. No doubt of it. These are just another species, much more advanced and intelligent, long-lived. But you see, something I took away from all those decades, you get a lot of treasure out of it, actually, is that deity is a legalist, very legal. And once you begin to realize that, there's no contract between me and there. And the contract that I was under, it's null and void because it was presented in fraud, deceit. Full disclosure was not made. That nullifies the agreement, the contract, even the blood covenant nullifies it. In fact, I'm sure that somewhere, if I wanted to pursue it, I could pursue that creature into a higher court and seek retribution. But here's what, in my mirror gazing time, came to me. All these deities, these spirits, demigods, demiurges, whatever they shall be, those that have tormented you, those that have tried to trap you, once you get free, I'm going to tell you how you do it. You can't seek retribution on them. You can't. I questioned them today, and they took me a place where I was walking. And as I was there, I saw like an unlimited amount of automatic escalators, in airports, how you get onto the walkways. And I saw those, and there was this light. And while I was standing there, the voice said to me, there are those who have seen and now move on. I think that's maybe where a lot of us may be going. You see, the idea, ladies and gentlemen, that there is a singularity of destiny is a fraud. Because of what it's saying, that you're never going to reach that unrecognized potential that was created in you. That somehow or another, that you have to be subservient to one that's higher, and it uses your gifts to its own advantage. No. I mean, this is a messed up place. This whole reality. I did a whole video of this whole thing. You know, the money structure, the political structure, the power structure. It's insanity. I will be telling other spirits that I'm going to be meeting when they're going to say, oh, that's the Robert Wayne Steiger. He came from Earth. And am I going to have some tales to tell them? Oh, yeah. We're going to be out there on the celestial highways, folks. And you're going to meet them. And they're going to share with you experiences that you didn't have any idea about. You're going to learn just like you learned here. The concept of religion in itself is finite and incomplete. We are greater than that. We are gods. Most go unrecognized of that. But the few that do, it's potty time. Oh, it is great to have this experience. So tonight, I want to show you something. Folks, when you see this, and we're going to be talking about it more with Jeff P. I've never had Jeff P. on. I've known Jeff through his work over on there on his Nibiru Hunter channel, and he's dedicated. And you know what? I respect any professional that's dedicated in their pursuit. Absolutely, and you should too. That's why I respect all of you. Hello, Mother Nature. How you doing? So, you don't think our planet is a rocking and a rolling? There's a freaking concert going on, because I know, because wait till you see this. Let me pull it up, and he goes over here. And folks, check this out. All right, so this is from the University of Wisconsin. This is the geostationary satellite imagery, which is over the Indian Ocean. This is your plane of reference. This gives you where, and I can pull it out so you can see, as you begin to do, and let me just play this. This is a 24-hour period, folks. You don't think the Earth's not wobbling? Oh, yeah. Now, there is some strange stuff going on here, too. Let me just slow this down. So what's so interesting is that you get to see the sun, which I'm assuming is the sun, is, let me just stop it here as it goes through. Now, those are what they call reference points that you actually get where they're putting the straight line. So there is something, I guess this is the sun here, but it's got a strange elliptical orbit. Here it goes here. It comes up this way. I'm going to talk with Scott Zion of Planet X News. Do y'all see that? There it is. I got to stop it again. Let me get this object when it shows up there again. Well, it's right over here off of Madagascar. And there you can see it exiting. Now watch. So those are the registration. There it is, right back there. There it is. I don't have any freaking idea what that is, folks. Because if we saw the sun already went over this way. I don't know. Maybe it's the moon. But there you go, folks. Stay tuned. Yep. We're going to have a quite a time tonight. Oh, by the way, real quick, you don't think things are happening fast? This is the Sun UK. Won't play the video because they have a tendency to want to do a copyright strike when they don't even own the film. But anyway, this is from a YouTube channel called Amir Zira Meled. There's this UFO, folks. They said it was this big, it looked like a skyscraper, a building, witnessed by tens of thousands of people. There it is. And then they saw it just simply mask itself away. Imagine that. Folks, something's going on, man. I'm telling you. It's weird. Dust bunnies. Yeah, Karen. I love that. Yeah, so now we got apparently 2 new moons. That's what they're calling them, you know, or dust globules. But Karen, that is so true. Dust bunnies, you know, you got PhD astrophysicists. That's the best they can come up with. Well, what did you get there, Harry? Well, you know, I'm not sure, John. Why don't we call them just dust bunnies? You know, they're like hiding under the bed. Yeah. Great Scott, they're not hiding the wobble. Oh, okay. Well, I know my compass. It's very well registered. In fact, we're going to be covering that. There is another PhD out there who is saying we are now in the midst of the magnetic pole reversal. So who knows? Dust bunnies. All right, folks, I'm going to end this one a little bit early. Hope you will join us tonight. I think it's going to be a fun time. And Scott Zielin's always got something. And I think Dr. Albers may be with us as well. So it should be a very fun evening. All right, folks, be good to yourself. Remember, you're a god. And it's a damn honor to be known by you. All right, I'm just going to invoke favor upon all of you. I did this morning, and in fact, my invocation was that favor would visit each and every one of you with its presence today. All right, folks, be good. Let spirit reign supreme in your life of wisdom, and I'll tell you, she will guide you each step of the way. All right, folks, be good. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.